morning and welcome to Monday Coffee. We're still going through a series about questions a pastor receives, and these are questions I have received from people throughout my experience within working in churches or just people outside of the church. And this week's question isn't so much a question, but kind of a statement I hear from people or an offhanded remark, and people feel like they can say it to a pastor because obviously they agree that there's persecution on Christians in America. And I would say not so fast, because there are so many Christians, millions of Christians across the globe, that would also disagree with that because they're facing some real persecution. We oftentimes in American Christianity get privilege and persecution mixed up. That when we have a loss of privilege, we view that as persecution. But persecution is a clash between two irreconcilable value systems. And the value system for us as Christians presented within the Sermon on the Mount is radically different and incongruent and irreconcilable with our world and our world's value system. No matter where we are, no matter what system we're in, and whether it's America or Africa or Asia, we as people of God, the Sermon on the Mount shows a value system that the world doesn't understand. Therefore, for any of us who follow Jesus and the way that Jesus told us to live in the Sermon on the Mount, we should be expected to be misunderstood, maligned, or mistreated in life at some point. But sometimes for people, they have a desire to be seen as genuine Christians and they want to defend the faith. There's a whole set of something called apologetics that was created to defend the faith. This is where you defend the theology and beliefs of Christians with people who are against it. And so people who are genuine and want to be genuine Christians often defend. And some then would claim persecution where there is none. This is a real temptation for a lot of us. Christians have enjoyed a privileged position in our culture, and that's diminishing. We've enjoyed it for such a long time that we have forgotten what it means to take a back seat. And when we lose privilege, that means there's a loss of influence and power, and a lot of people really want to hold on to that. And we're going to do despicable things and sinful things in the name of God to keep that power because we're afraid of losing it. So we can misinterpret things then, such as prayers or symbols being taken out of the public square as persecution. I've heard it from many people about prayers taken out of schools. And that's not necessarily persecution, especially when it's in the public square. We also have a culture where people can claim to be victims in order to accumulate kind of cultural influence and political power. And so it can be used as leverage to combat the views of their enemy, who they view to be their enemy. So someone who wants political office may take advantage of the victim mentality to get votes. They could say, I've been persecuted because I believe this, or people don't believe this anymore, and they rally people around them so that they can reinstate it, or as they think they can reinstate those beliefs or those value systems. So as Christians, I think we should resist the temptation to do these things, to claim persecution when it's not actually there. Persecution is not something we should seek out either, but to understand that is a product of seeking the kingdom of God first, rather than the privileges of this world. I think if you want to read more on this, you can look at 1 Peter 2:19 through 25, or John 15:18 through 27. I think also from a historical view of this, last year I read a book and it's gained momentum, and it's called Jesus and John Wayne. And this is a historical account of religion and how it intertwined with politics in the 20th century and how that got us to where we are today. And that's a wonderful and a very interesting look at our historical influences and privileges that we have enjoyed as Christians. And so you can read up on those more if you want to learn more about this. But as you go this week, may you understand that as you seek out the kingdom of God, if you want to bring heaven to earth now, that is oftentimes going to make us take a back seat to what the world wants from us. Have a great week.